This is the story, the fantastically true story, of Herbert A. Philbrick, who for 9 frightening years did lead 3 lives. Average citizen, high-level member of the Communist Party, and counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For obvious reasons, the names, dates, and places have been changed, but the story is based on fact. Fear of everything and everyone outside the communist world is a first lesson in communism. This is a story of how that fear is kept alive. Just a little bit jumpy, aren't you, Philbrick? A sudden noise and you're sweating ice water. Just because some kids knock a baseball over the playground fence, you're not going to turn into a neurotic. No one's following you. Get hold of yourself. All you're doing is attending a routine meeting of a communist cell. Your cell, Comrade Herb. Something you've done several hundred times without having a nervous breakdown. There's nothing special about this meeting. You park 2 blocks away from the meeting place and walk 3 to get there. Every step you take is planned ahead of time, so you arrive exactly on the minute you're supposed to. All right, Philbrick. If it's all so routine, if nothing can be wrong, then what's the matter with you?
Something troubling you, comrade? You seem a trifle, distracted.
Distracted's the word. Nothing I can put my finger on, though.
Well, perhaps we can help you.
Perhaps you can. Did any of you, as you were coming here, notice anything strange? Huh? Well, then I guess it was me. Nerves, huh?
Comrade, I have a suggestion to make.
Yeah?
Should this feeling persist, I recommend you visit a psychiatrist.
Thank you, Comrade, for that helpful suggestion.
And now that we've disposed of Comrade Herb's problem, shall we continue? Comrade Andrew, I believe you're prepared to lead our discussion.
All right, you commie rat. We know you're in there. Open up. Get this, comrade. You don't open up, we'll break it down. We're coming in there, you Moscow lovers.
What do we do, Comrade?
Get out of here. Use the back door.
Well, they're at the back door, too. Guess we might as well make a fight for it, comrades.
No. Come on. Go out the basement. Down there to the left is a window that opens on the alleyway.
Your front door isn't going to last much longer.
Yes, I know. You better get out of here while you can.
Between the 2 of us, we could make it kind of interesting for them.
I'm seeing you here. I say go. Go now. If I'm alone, maybe I can convince them they picked the wrong house. What's the meaning of this? Who are you anyway, breaking into a man's home like this?
We'll ask the questions, Comrade Rat. Where are the other Reds? We know they're here.
What are you talking about, Reds? What Reds? What others? There's nobody else here but me. If you can't see that much, you might as well get rid of those masks.
Oh! You don't like our masks, Comrade?
They're probably an improvement over your face.
We didn't come here to listen to a commie speech. Now, where are the other people? What did you do with them?
I told you, there's nobody else here.
Part of your training to lie. Well, maybe we can teach you to tell the truth. Now, once more. Where are the other people? We know they're here.
You do? All right, they'll be my guests. Look around for them.
You're real smart, aren't you? We'll be a lot smarter when we're through with you.
This is no time to be a communist hero. Come on, Philbrick, get out of here. Remember, you're a counter spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Jerry?
Hello, Herb.
Glad you could make it. When I called the FBI office, they weren't sure they could find you.
I got the message. Well, what are the commies up to now?
A bunch of hoodlums just raided our cell meeting.
Any bloodshed?
No, except for the cell leader, Brisson Laylock. The rest of us got out a basement window. I was the last one out. I heard him catch up with Comrade Brisson. Brother, it sounded like a bunch of Nazi stormtroopers. They were working him over with a sap.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, as soon as I got out of there. I'm afraid they didn't arrive in time to do Comrade Brisson much good, though. He went to the emergency hospital.
Any of you get a good look at them?
No. Just Brisson, and he says that they all wore masks. Their voices will have to be the only means of identification.
You don't think they were just a bunch of overzealous patriots?
No. No, I doubt it. Somehow I've got the feeling that they had more to gain than just the fun of beating up on our comrade friends.
What could they gain by this, Herb? What do they want?
I don't know. I don't know, Jerry. I do know one thing, though. It's got to be stopped. This is going to end up doing the comrades more good than harm. How can it be stopped, Jerry?
By dragging these people out from behind their masks and their sheets. We'll catch up with them, Herb. What's your program going to be?
Comrade Dixon has called a cell meeting. Brisson won't be there, but I gather the time has arrived for the rest of us to do some deep soul searching as to how this raid was made possible.
Well, let me know the outcome. But don't get caught in the middle.
A quaint and unnecessary admonition, chum.
About this raid. I can safely say there's one fact which must have impressed all of us. Someone in this room is or shall I say, a poor security risk. The party is, of course, concerned. But the other members of this group are particularly concerned.
Comrade Dixon.
Yes?
You mean we were sold out?
Possibly, but not necessarily. First, let's examine the chance that one of us, inadvertently, dropped a word that leaked back to this gang.
Isn't that rather unlikely for members of a pro-4 cell to be that indiscreet about what they say?
Not at all, comrade. Let's face it. One of us talked out of turn. Inadvertently or otherwise. Which one? Only you, the comrade responsible, can tell us that. That's what we're here to find out. Even if it takes all night. It's now 11:30.
Comrade Herb had a feeling something was wrong before the raid. Maybe he could tell us something.
Yes, that also occurred to me. Guilty conscience, maybe?
Yes. Just exactly what was bothering you this afternoon, comrade?
Well, nothing in particular. I told you I just had a feeling that something was wrong. I felt that I was being followed.
Go on, comrade. Go on.
Look, the sun's up. It's day. Can't we stop beating each other over the head? We're not getting anywhere.
No, we're not. Because one person in this room is a moral coward. All right, all of you, go home. I give up. But just remember this. The next time a comrade is beaten insensible, one of us is doubly guilty. And we'll find out who he is. I give you my word on it. All right, Andrews, you first. Anderson. have trouble getting the bus going out my way. You drop me?
Yeah, sure. We better leave separately, though. Here, I'll give you the keys to my car. It's down the street in the parking lot. You know the car.
Yeah.
I'll meet you there.
I'll see you there.
A familiar pattern. A communist meeting breaking up. The comrades going on their way one at a time. And a familiar message behind the eyes of the comrades waiting for their turn to leave. A message of fear and suspicion and hate. Why is that car in such a hurry to get out of here? Better get to Dixon.
Dixon? Dixon, what happened?
Dixon. Oh, no.
We want to see this house you got for sale, especially the basement. Come on.
Herb Philbrick. Yes? I'm sorry, you'll have to talk a little louder. I can't hear you.
Herb, it's Anderson. I'm at 407 Manfield Road. Got that?
Right, I have it. 407 Mansfield Road. Well, what's the matter, Andy? You sound like you're...
Need help. Herb, they're coming back.
Operator, give me the police department. Hello, police. Look, I want to report a man being beaten up by a gang of hoodlums. Yeah, that's what I said. Now, the address is 407 Mansfield Road. Have you got it? Right. Jerry.
I gather we've had a new attack.
Yeah. It was Anderson this time. He's a real estate salesman. He was out showing a house when they caught up with him.
That's 3 out of your cell, 2 to go.
Mm-hmm.
About this meeting last night, did anybody remember talking out of turn?
Nope.
That makes rather a funny picture, doesn't it, Herb?
Well, it depends on who's getting hit in the face with the pie. Maybe I'm a little too close to the situation to see the humor in it.
I didn't mean literally funny.
No, I know.
But I find it strange that your cell, 5 very well-concealed communists, should be the focus of these attacks. Well, I suppose the question has to be asked. How did they know about you?
Isn't the question a little academic, Jerry? You see, the question of communist affiliation is a relative one at best. Somebody, somewhere along the line, has to know who's a communist and who isn't. Well, somewhere along the line, there was a leak. That's all there is to it.
Well, we'll buy that for the present. But let's fire a few more questions at it and see how it holds up. What have these characters gained by jumping your cell? You're not known communists. Or the rank and file of the party don't even know they're under attack.
I don't know what's directing their strategy. We're a pro-force cell. Yeah, that's pretty high up. Maybe they're operating on the theory that you knock the head off the monster and the body dies.
All right, that's my point. Why don't they strike at the very head, party headquarters? It's exposed and vulnerable. And incidentally, they'd probably make the headlines in 2 or 3 editions all over the country. They should gladden their hearts. Say, what is the matter with these guys? How can they overlook a bet like this?
Yeah, Jerry. You got a point.
Now, let me know what you can pick up, Herb. I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Okay. Okay, I'll be in touch with you. There it is, just as Dressler said, the head of the monster, exposed and vulnerable. The Communist Party knows their front door is exposed. Anyone going into it is labeled. That's why they keep this dummy office, for the concealed comrades to make their pilgrimages to headquarters without being seen. But why don't those goons go to the front door? That's what you're here to find out, Philbrick.
It would be just as well if you didn't show up at headquarters for a while, Comrade Herb.
I had to come. I need advice.
I'm afraid you'll have to handle your little problem on your own.
Little problem. With only 2 members of the cell left that haven't gotten the treatment, and with my turn next, or at most time after next, you talk about a little problem?
What can I say to you, Comrade? That you have my sympathy, you and the others? Oh, sympathy's such shoddy merchandise. Maybe good enough for our bourgeois friends, but nothing a communist has any use for.
Yeah, well, I just wanted you to be advised of the situation.
And I know I don't have to evaluate these attacks for a man of your background. We both know we're engaged in a death struggle with capitalism. In a fight of these proportions, someone has to get hurt. It's unfortunate when it's you or anyone on our side. But I promise you this, we'll always give as good as we get.
Well, that's exactly what I had in mind. Within the next few days, these goons are going to try and clobber one of 2 men. This time we could be ready for them.
I'm afraid that's not very practical. We can't have a sufficient number of men keeping an eye on you 24 hours a day to do any good.
It's more practical for me to wind up in the hospital with the rest of them, huh?
I understand your feelings, Comrade. This is hitting mighty close to home. But that doesn't change the fact we're fighting a war. We expect casualties.
If we're in a war, we ought to fight back.
We will, Comrade, when we get our orders to move on the offensive. The whole party will gain in strength and resolve as a result of these attacks. The word's going down through the party so that even the probationary members will understand what has happened. They'll know that if even such a cell as yours is not immune to stormtrooper violence and barbarism, their only salvation is the Communist Party. At least there'll be no more deviation due to that discredited canard labeled the American way.
Just one other thing I had in mind when I came here.
Yes, Comrade.
Are you prepared for them to hit here?
I suppose it could happen.
In my opinion, it's bound to happen. A raid on Communist Party headquarters would really put these boys in the big time.
Perhaps you're right.
Maybe it's getting at it the hard way, but if they did visit here, you wouldn't have any more problems about party solidarity. Maybe if I get a chance to put in a word before they start working me over with their brass knuckles, I'll suggest that they drop in.
I'm sure your concern for party solidarity is only surpassed by your sense of humor, Comrade. Goodbye.
Herb Philbrick. Herb.
Herb, do you remember what I told you about the tide tonight? I think it would be an excellent time to go climbing, if you can make it.
Well, count me in. I'll even bring my own climbing fork.
No, that won't be necessary. We'll have everything we need.
Okay, where'll I meet you?
At the bait shop. Make it 7 o'clock.
Bait shop. 7 o'clock. I'll be there. A bait shop, Philbrick? Well, perhaps the important thing is the kind of fish you're out to hook. Hi, Jerry. Hello, Herb. Think it's safe for me to be here?
Yeah, don't worry. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask you on the phone, how do you like your clams?
Just cooked. I'll go along with your favorite recipe.
Personally, I like mine steamed, in the shells.
Jerry, did you find out anything?
Yeah. Right after you left the head clam's office across the hall this afternoon, things started to happen.
Yeah? And my suggestion took, huh? That party headquarters might be the prime target for the bully boys.
You must have sold it. Because our team of men following Comrade Logan reported a very hush-hush meeting between him and a man in a black sedan about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I understand Logan had gone to a great deal of trouble to make sure that he wasn't being tailed. Anyway, the top comrade was back in his office across the hall here by 4 o'clock, supervising the removal of certain filing cabinets to a locked storeroom he has on another floor.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't expect much action across the hall for at least another hour, so we might as well have a bite of dinner.
Yeah. What are we having tonight?
Steamed clams. Should be about time. Have enough to eat, Herb?
Yeah. Anything going on out there, Jerry?
No, it's all quiet. The thing should happen any minute now. The elevator operator went home about 5 minutes ago.
To coin a phrase, the coast is clear.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting thing about these communists. They may not be as inventive as they'd have the world believe, but they have a great talent for plagiarism.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing ever since Comrade Logan tried to persuade me to take my lumps as a contribution to party solidarity. Well, he's stealing from Hitler. Hitler burned down his own Reichstag to convince his people they had to get tough with their enemies.
And Comrade Logan borrows the same simple diabolical plan. What does he do? He imports a communist goon squad to rough up his own membership, working them up to a fighting pitch. And, of course, he'll blame the beating on the American way.
Yeah, sure.
But if the treatment takes, and Logan emerges with a hardcore bunch of comrades out for revenge, we're in trouble. Serious trouble. That's why we can't afford to miss tonight, Herb. We've got to wrap up this bunch of commie goons right here and now.
Let's go to work.
Those are the boys?
No doubt about it. They're really having a ball in there.
Yeah, it's time somebody blew the whistle on them. I mean, literally.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Mr. Logan, this is a police officer speaking. There's been some trouble at your office. Could you come down here right away? Yes, sir. We'll wait here until you get here. Thank you. You know, Herb, it ought to be worth the price of admission to see the expression on Comrade Logan's face when the police ask him to sign a vandalism complaint against his own private goon squad.
Seems to me you guys have all the fun.
But at least this time, not all the satisfaction, Herb.
No, I guess I've had my share of that. Thanks, Jerry. Next week, we'll bring you another story from the files of Herbert A. Philbrick. The kind of story that could only be told by a man who for 9 fantastic years served as a counter-spy for the Federal Bureau of Investigation.